Bonjour, I'm Jennifer, your French teacher in the south of France, and in this lesson I'm going to teach you how to use relative composed pronouns. So relative composed pronouns are all of the different forms of lequel, like lequel, lesquels, auquel, duquel, desquels. In this lesson, I'll explain everything you need to know, and if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a quiz. Okay, let's just take a moment, first of all, to identify exactly what a relative pronoun is and to review that. Whether we're talking about simple relative pronouns like qui, que, ou, and dont, or relative composed pronouns, they all serve the same purpose, which is to combine two ideas together to form one sentence. Relative pronouns make two ideas relate to one another. So if you need a refresher lesson on que, qui, ou, and dont, or on ce qui, ce que, and ce dont, you should visit my blog by following the links in the description below, and you'll also find the link to this lesson on relative composed pronouns. So relative pronouns aren't always necessary in English, but they really can't be avoided in French. For example, in English, I can say, the cake I made is delicious. I don't have to say the cake that I made is delicious. But in French, you have to say the word that, which is que in French, and that is a relative pronoun. It makes those two sentences relate to one another. As a relative pronoun, lequel replaces an indirect object when that object is preceded by any preposition except de. In a few minutes, I'll show you how lequel has several different forms and contractions. For example, you'll notice that lequel, L-E-Q-U-L, will become laquelle in this sentence, L-A-Q-U-E-L-L-E. So let's start at the top. These are the two sentences that we want to make relate. L'agence est sur le boulevard Haussmann. Il travaille pour cette agence. Okay, so the agency is on Haussmann Boulevard. He works for this agency. What can we do to make those two sentences relate? So here's a tip. Look in those two sentences and tell me if you can see a preposition. Okay? Can you see a preposition? There are actually two. There's sur and there is pour, okay? If you have already a preposition in the sentence, then you're going to use one of the regular forms of lequel, all right? So in this situation, we have l'agence pour laquelle il travaille est sur le boulevard Haussmann. So what that means is the agency for which he works is on Haussmann Boulevard. Okay, so I chose L-A-Q-U-E-L-L-E because it has to agree in number and gender with what's called the antecedent. And that's just a word that's used to refer to the term that the relative pronoun is replacing. And in this sentence, that word is l'agence, which happens to be feminine and singular. Look at this example. We have two sentences at the top that we want to make relate one to the other. Ce mannequin est célèbre. Nous allons travailler avec ce mannequin. Now, before we go any further, when the indirect object is a person, the relative pronoun is usually qui, and especially in informal conversation. You must know that. But it can also be lequel. Okay, so for example, ce mannequin est célèbre. This model is famous. Nous allons travailler avec ce mannequin. We are going to work with this mannequin. Okay? Again, I'll ask you to look at the sentences and tell me in the second sentence, do you see a preposition? Hopefully you can identify avec, which means with, as a preposition. Okay? Since we already have a preposition, we don't have to use the auquel or duquel. We're just going to use a regular form of lequel preceded by avec. So, le mannequin avec lequel nous allons travailler est célèbre. The model with whom we are going to work is famous. Now, like I said, most people would usually just use qui instead of lequel, and that would sound like this. Le mannequin avec qui nous allons travailler est célèbre. So you can do it either way, and maybe you're like my student Anna who told me today, I'll just simplify my life and stick with qui. I said, I don't blame you, Anna. I would too. And actually, most people do. Okay, now we're going to move on to the preposition a. When using lequel, you need to remember a few things, and especially which verbs are followed by a and de, okay? Which verbs, which expressions. After the preposition a, you need to make a contraction with lequel, and here's what it looks like. If you have a plus lequel, you get auquel, because a plus le make au, o. A plus lesquels becomes auquel, aux, because a plus le is aux. And notice there that I put an S on the end of the word to make agreement. Now, a plus lesquels, this is the feminine plural form, becomes auquel. D'accord? So those top three all sound the same. Auquel, auquel, auquel. But they're all spelled differently, and that's important. And then the last one, à laquelle, you don't have any contraction to make because à and la can go right next to each other like that. Here are some sentences, some examples for you. La robe est absolument superbe. The dress is absolutely superb. Cette future mariée pense à cette robe. This future bride is thinking about that robe, that dress. And what we want to do is make these two sentences relate one to the other. So, voila, we're going to look in the sentence. The second sentence, do you see a preposition? Yes, it's the preposition a, okay? And so we have to be careful. There might be a contraction to be made when we're hooking these two sentences together. La robe à laquelle cette future mariée pense est absolument superbe. The dress to which or of which this future bride is thinking is absolutely superb. So two things. À laquelle, remember, that's legal. You can do that. You don't have to make a contraction. Another thing, penser, the verb penser. That's one of those verbs when you're thinking about something, an object, we use a after penser, d'accord? And that's important to know, otherwise you would have a difficult time with these relative composed pronouns. Have a look at this one. Le défilé de mode a eu un grand succès. Tout le monde a assisté au défilé. So that means the fashion show had a lot of success. Everyone went to the fashion show. So that verb assister does not mean to assist. It means to attend. And it's followed by a. Okay, you see how it says assister au défilé? That's a clue in the sentence. You look for that. So when we're going to connect and figure out which relative pronoun to use, that will help us. Le défilé de mode auquel tout le monde a assisté a eu un grand succès. The fashion show to which everyone attended. I know we don't say it like that in English. I'm just trying to spell it out for you with the direct translation. The fashion show to which everyone went, if it makes more sense, had a lot of success. Okay, so now let's have a look at what happens after the preposition de. Same kind of thing. You know when you have de next to le, it becomes du. So de plus lequel becomes duquel. And when you have de plus les, it becomes de. So there we have desquels. And then for the feminine plural, we also have desquels. But de and la next to each other are legal, right? So we still have de laquelle, no contraction needed. Now, before I show you a few examples, I do want to show you, this is not a complete list. This is just a list of some very common prepositional phrases using de, okay? And it's just to show you, and you'll see this in the quiz in a little while. After prepositional phrases using de, you must make a contraction with lequel. You can't forget to do that. So if you have something like à côté de, and that is followed by a masculine word, you would have de and le next to each other, which means you would have to make a contraction. For example, if it said next to the park, à côté de le parc. We can't say de le parc. We have to say à côté du parc. Okay, so I have this list over on my blog. If you would like to have a copy of it, you can go over there and see it, or you can put me on pause before we continue, right? Here are a few examples for you. Le mariage a eu lieu à côté d'un jardin. Le mariage a eu lieu à côté d'un jardin. So that means that the wedding took place next to a garden. Le jardin a bien contribué à l'ambiance générale de l'événement. The garden contributed to the general ambiance of the event. Let's make them hook together. We know if we have à côté de that we're going to have to use some form of de plus lequel. Here we're going to use duquel because jardin, the word that follows the de, is masculine. Le jardin à côté duquel le mariage a eu lieu a bien contribué à l'ambiance générale de l'événement. The garden next to which the wedding took place contributed to the general ambiance of the event. Now here's a note, and I'm going to give you an example to show you what I mean. When you have de plus a noun, you can't use the different forms of duquel, desquels. You can only replace that with dont. You remember that relative pronoun dont? For example, le défilé a eu un grand succès. So the fashion show had a lot of success. Tu me parles de ce défilé. You're talking to me about this défilé. D'accord? De plus a noun. De plus ce défilé. So we have to use dont. Le défilé dont tu me parles a eu un grand succès, which means the fashion show that you talked to me about had a lot of success. D'accord. Okay, so here's a little tip for you. Astuce. Astuce, that means tip in French. When there is already a preposition in one of the ideas that you need to connect with lequel, you will not need to use the auquel or duquel forms. So I'll explain what that means as we go through the quiz. By the way, are you ready for a quiz? You want to get out a pen and paper? Or you just want to wing it? Remember to put me on pause after I give you, excuse me, I have a little cold. After I give you the sentence where you'll have to fill in the blank, put me on pause if you're not ready, because I'm going to give you the answer right away. Okay? Here we go. The first one. Il porte encore le costume dans blank. Il s'est marié. Il porte encore le costume dans blank. Il s'est marié. So on all of these, if there's a preposition, I'm going to highlight it for you in black. All right? So what does this preposition tell you? Think about that. Okay? That preposition should have told you that you do not need a form of auquel or duquel. You just need the plain old lequel. And in this sentence, it is lequel and not laquelle because we're making reference to the antecedent, which is le costume, masculine and singular. And what does that mean anyway? It means he's still wearing the suit that he got married in. Très bien. Now in English, you know, we tend to end sentences with prepositions all the time. He's still wearing the suit he got married in, but in French, you can't do that, right? So we could translate it also, he is still wearing the suit in which he was married. Okay? Allez, on continue. Numéro 2. Now here I have put de in parentheses just so that you know that some form of it has to go there. Les magasins auprès de blank se trouvent, mon coiffeur, vendent des vêtements importés d'Europe. What do you think about that one? Okay, let's see the answer then. Les magasins auprès desquels se trouve mon coiffeur vendent des vêtements importés d'Europe. Desquels. Why? Because we're making reference to les magasins, the stores. They're masculine and plural. So what it means is the stores near to which my hairdresser is located sell clothing imported from Europe. So the stores around where my hair salon is sell imported clothing from Europe. Allez, on continue. Les femmes pour blank, il crée ses robes ont un sens de l'élégance. Les femmes pour blank, il crée ses robes ont un sens de l'élégance. Now here, these are people, les femmes, who we're making reference to. So, les femmes pour lesquelles il crée ses robes ont un sens de l'élégance. The women for whom he creates his dresses have a sense of elegance. Now remember, here a lot of people would say les femmes pour qui. Les femmes pour qui il crée ses robes ont un sens de l'élégance. Either is fine, and qui is more common in conversation. Okay, you sticking with me? Not that many left. Now here down at the bottom, notice that I've put répondre à, and that's just in case you didn't know that the verb répondre must be followed by à. La première question, blank, il a voulu répondre et qu'est-ce qui symbolise la France? La première question, blank, il a voulu répondre et qu'est-ce qui symbolise la France? La première question à laquelle il a voulu répondre et qu'est-ce qui symbolise la France? Good, bravo. So since répondre has to be followed by à, we have to make sure that we put à in front of laquelle. Laquelle is making reference to la première question. The first question to which he wanted to respond is what symbolizes la France? Okay. Voilà la table sous, so sous is a preposition. Voilà la table sous blank, j'ai trouvé ta bague. Voilà la table sous blank, j'ai trouvé ta bague. So there's the table under blank, I found your ring. Voilà la table sous laquelle j'ai trouvé ta bague. Sous laquelle, because laquelle is making reference to la table. We already have sous, so we don't need another preposition like à or de. That's a big clue. Here we go. Je suis sûre que ces jeunes femmes à côté de blank, tu t'es assise, sont mannequins. Je suis sûre que ces jeunes femmes à côté de blank, tu t'es assise, sont mannequins. So I am sure that these young women next to whom you are seated are models. Voilà. Alors, since we have a de in there, à côté de, we have to use desquelles because we're making reference to ces jeunes femmes who are not only feminine, but plural. D'accord? Allez. Les couturiers chez blank, Hugo a été apprenti, sont tous célèbres. Hein? Les couturiers chez blank, Hugo a été apprenti, sont tous célèbres. So the designers, blank, Hugo was an apprentice or under whom he learned are all famous. This is a hard one to translate. Did you hear me just not translate chez? All right, we'll translate it in the answer. Do you have it done? All right. Les couturiers chez lesquels Hugo a été apprenti sont tous célèbres. So couturier, masculine, plural. So, voilà. Goodness. This is not very good one, is it? This is terrible. And not only can I not translate it, but I made a mistake. Can you see the mistake? Can you? If you are, then you get an extra. If you can, then you get an extra point. Right, it should be chez lesquels. L-E-S. Q-U-E-L-S. Okay? Hugo a été apprenti, sont tous célèbres. So the dressmakers or the stylists or the designers with whom or under whom Hugo learned are all famous. Remember that chez, it's like you're referring to someone's house or home. So this is like a home or a house of style. D'accord? All right, this next one we have réfléchir à. So that's just to remind you that réfléchir is a verb that must be followed by à. Nous avons mentionné quelques vieilles images, blank, les étudiants n'avaient pas beaucoup réfléchi. Okay, don't forget the à. Nous avons mentionné quelques vieilles images auxquelles les étudiants n'avaient pas beaucoup réfléchi. Bravo, good job if you got that one right. Because quelques vieilles images is the antecedent. It's feminine and it's plural, so that's why it gets to be spelled that way. Because you réfléchis à something, you think to something in French. Just like ressembler à. Now that means to resemble. To resemble has to be followed by à. L'hexagone est la forme géométrique blank la France ressemble le plus. L'hexagone est la forme géométrique blank la France ressemble le plus. So for your answer, l'hexagone est la forme géométrique à laquelle la France ressemble le plus. Voilà, because we have to make agreement with la forme géométrique. Bien, bien, here's the last one. L'équipe de France porte un uniforme sur blank, figure un coq. L'équipe de France porte un uniforme sur blank, figure un coq. Alors, we've got our preposition sur there, so we just have to say sur lequel. Un uniforme, masculine, singular, so it gets spelled LEQUEL. The French team wears a uniform on which there is a rooster, right? Sur lequel figure un coq. Voila, I hope you did well on that. Let me know if you have any questions. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, whether you're teaching yourself French or learning it at school and you need a little extra help. I try to put out new videos every week. Also, check the links in the video description below to see all of the ways that you can connect with and also support Love Learning Languages. Thanks, guys, et à très bientôt. Au revoir.